everyone, I'm Katey Patrick, your weather bug host for today's interview. This is Brian Petrie, our guest expert from the U.S. Geological Survey. Thank you for taking time to speak with us about your most memorable weather experience.
You're welcome.
Brian, can you explain what you do at the USGS?
The USGS is the premier federal agency for collecting data and publishing that data, and purposely for the use of water.
How long have you been with the USGS?
I've been with the U.S. Geological Survey in the San Antonio project office for 27 years.
What is the most memorable weather event you had with your job?
Probably the most memorable weather experience was the event of Hurricane Harvey, which was in 2017.
When and where did this happen?
Well, Hurricane Harvey hit the Texas coast as a Category 4 hurricane on August 25th, 2017. It went into the Texas coastline at Rockport, Texas, and then continued up into to Central Texas and into East Texas, affecting the big cities of Houston and Victoria.
What was the weather like?
Well, we deployed quite a few weather sensors prior to the hurricane, and you could tell prior to the hurricane, as it approached the Texas coast, that conditions were deteriorating rapidly.
How long did it last?
Well, the hurricane, as it hit the Texas coast, was again a Category 4 hurricane, which has winds exceeding 135 miles an hour, and it lasted affecting the coastline for about 24 hours. After it left the coastal area, it went inland towards Houston and affected the area of Houston for at least 2 weeks of flooding.
Ooh. Was there any time you were scared or terrified?
No, I really wasn't terrified. There are certain conditions and safety restraints to where we are kept into a safe situation. So there was no time that I was terrified by the hurricane.
What observation did you make from other people action that were in the hurricane?
Well, we were involved prior to the hurricane, putting data collection sensors out for the storm surge. And then we left the area and retreated back to San Antonio. After that, after the hurricane hit the city of Rockport, we went back to that area the following day. The hurricane hit about 9 o'clock at night on the 25th. We went back in on Saturday, the 26th, after the worst of it had passed, and we witnessed total devastation in areas around Rockport, Aransas Pass, Skidmore, Refugio, Texas, Victoria, Texas, Goliad, all of those large towns that were completely affected by the hurricane.
What type of damage did you witness?
Some of the most severe damage was from all of the wind of the hurricane. We witnessed power lines that were just completely demolished and laying on the ground. We saw every aspect of buildings that were completely blown off, and schools that were completely demolished, boats that were all over the place, everything that affected that area.
How did you travel during the storm?
Well, during the storm, again, we went down in vehicles that we were prepared with, and we went down to the Port Aransas area and Rockport area and all along the Texas coast in our vehicles that are specialized to deploy all this instrumentation. And then when we went back with those same vehicles, but we also took in boats and extra fuel because none of those areas had electricity or fuel available. So we had to go travel back to that area with extra fuel.
With the flooding, were there any wildlife encountered?
Oh, most indeed. All that wildlife, all that area. The hurricane went right through the Aransas Wildlife Refuge. So all of that area was affected by the hurricane. Most importantly, the endangered species of the whooping crane is indigenous to the Aransas Wildlife Refuge. After that, we encountered so much flooding that I was a part of in investigating. And sometimes when you're traveling in a boat down the middle of a road that is flooded, and then all of a sudden there was a cow and a calf standing in the middle of the road. Or we saw cats and dogs that were up on top of rooftops of houses that were flooded.
In your 27 years with USGS, how would you compare Hurricane Harvey to other weather situations that you've experienced?
Well, in my time with the USGS, I've experienced the Great Flood of 1998, which was a catastrophic flood and a 500-year flood event. Also experienced the flood of 2002 in San Antonio and areas. Also the multiple floodings on the Rio Grande River, and all the way in 2015 over on Sabine River. So these, but Hurricane Harvey is by far a most traumatic and devastating storm situation that I've ever experienced while with the USGS.
Thank you for coming, Brian. It's not every day we get to talk with someone who protects our most valuable resource of water.
You're very welcome, Katie.